Alright, this is video number 2 for the subject of Obama should be bringing Christians to, be giving asylum to Christians from Muslim countries instead of bringing Muslims over here. And I wanted to just finish it up. It's not going to take that long. And the last part I was responding to was the beer issue, and he was talking about beer with my friends or whatever. You have to go back and watch the last video for that one. Okay, but he says here, but before posting something so absurd, make an attempt to research with an unbiased mindset going in. You'll shock yourself as to what you may find. First off, unbiased mindset, he's telling me to throw off my filter that I look at the world through. And the Bible is indeed a lens. It is a filter that you perceive the world through, and it helps you to look at everything and come to some consensus and have some answers and some finality of what is going on in the world, why we're here, and everything. And it all comes down to your worldview, and that's impossible. That's a ridiculous request. Nobody can come in with an unbiased perspective. Okay, everybody is on a spectrum. Okay, at one end of the spectrum, you've got evolutionists, atheists, agnostic, and then at the other end of the spectrum, you've got six-day creationists, which is where I am. I'm a six-day creationist. I believe that the earth was created in 6 literal days about 6,000 years ago. That's where I'm at, okay? I do not believe that the Bible and evolution is mutually able to work together, because once you take away Genesis, then why did Jesus come? There's no reason for Jesus to come. There's no... sin in the world is a normal thing. Death is a normal thing. But anyways, okay, Jesus loses all purpose whenever you lose Genesis. Okay, so that's where I stand. You know, and I have some questions. You know, there's a lot of talk about a catastrophe that happened about 12,000 years ago. I don't know why they placed it at 12,000 years. But the catastrophe, as according to the Bible, was about 4,000 years ago, 4,600 years ago, 4,400 years ago. Anyways, so that's where I'm coming from. It's either the human viewpoint or divine viewpoint. Okay, I come from divine viewpoint, which is what the Bible tells me, and that's how I look at the world. So to request that somebody comes into it. He's coming into it with the evolution perspective. He's coming into it at the other end. This guy who's requesting that I come into it with an unbiased perspective. He's coming into it from the other end, and he thinks he's unbiased. No. Nobody's unbiased. Everyone is biased. But before posting something so absurd, make an attempt to research with an unbiased mindset going in. You'll shock yourself as to what you may find. Nothing's shocking anymore. It doesn't shock. Nothing shocks me anymore. Okay, I know that what the Bible teaches, and basically we are living in a really, really, really calm time in history. Things were happening in the world before the flood that we're only beginning to scrape the surface on once again. The Bible says that in the days of Noah, and the days of Sodom and Gomorrah, I don't know which verse that is, it's something like that, so shall it be in the end times, okay? And we are approaching that, okay? There's a lot of stuff that happened back then, and there's a very specific reason that I also mentioned Sodom and Gomorrah, okay? It's going to happen. It's going to happen again. It is happening again. The rise in technology is coming upon us like a rushing flood. And that's what they had in the days of Noah. They had technology That's whenever all the pyramids were built before the flood. That's whenever they had the technology for that back then. That, you know, and the world before the flood was not 100% absolutely completely destroyed. There is stuff that's been left behind. The pyramids are a testament of that. Okay, the flood only was here for about a year, and it rained for 40 days. The waters kept rising for another 150 days. The floods went down, and it was for a whole year, and before the floods went down low enough again that the ark settled on in the mountains of Ararat. So that's a situation where, it's just the pyramids were built before Noah's flood, and it was only a year, and it destroyed everything that they had. We literally live in a junkyard compared to what they had before Noah's flood. We are only just seeing we are only just barely scraping the surface of the technology that they had available back then. And the buildings that they had before the flood were pyramids, and the pyramids were a big deal. Anyways, that's like, whoa, that's a rabbit. Okay, so anyways, my point is, it's not going to shock me. Then he says, I'll leave this here. No friend is he who but flatters. Whatever that means. Okay, that's all I got to say. All right, thanks. G-Man out.